The following is a special presentation of the Buccaneers Sports Network. This is the Jay and Keith Show. Two broadcasters, two microphones, and one meticulously scripted podcast.
You what?
Just kidding. Get it, J.K.? You get it.
That's what I thought was so funny. It's not funny.
Alongside Keith Brake, here's the voice of the Bucs, Jay Sandos.
It's a Monday. Something happened today. What happened today? What happened today? Something happened today.
What? I don't know. There's something that happened today. It's probably a good thing that happened today.
I know that I feel like there was a presser and I wore a suit, but
Yeah, I wore a tie today, and then it came off. We hired a men's basketball
that's
coach.
what it was. I knew it was something, and people acted like a bunch of savages. I don't know what was going on there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's a madhouse. All right, speaking of that, we will have Brooks Savage on the podcast.
He laid out his core values, and I tried to dabo it, and he hammered me on it. So very quietly, but he hammered me on it.
I can't wait to hear that interaction. It's things that I love to hear about.
Immediate for a guy that somebody I didn't know. I didn't know him from Adam. Huge 2 thumbs up from me. Great guy, awesome to work with so far, and really excited to get in there and get to work with the new men's basketball coach at ETSU.
So we're going to talk to him. We'll get a bunch of things out of the way there, and most people know Coach Savage and about him, but we'll definitely get our 20 minutes with him.
Yep.
We're going to talk ETSU women's basketball in just a second, but I was gone last week, so Keith had to run solo and give the news on Coach Oliver, and I thought he did a great job with that. Interviewed Coach Mockfrey, went to the women's tournament. I thought that was great. Meanwhile, you're doing that. I was apparently a security risk at the Capitol building.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we got tour of the Capitol coming up. We get there, and I think you'll enjoy this. So the wife and kids go through. I'm always the last to go through because I'm trying to help everybody get through security.
Right, you're being a dad.
And everywhere else we've been, because it's 30-something degrees, 26 degree mile per hour wind. It feels like it's 20 degrees out there. So everybody, you got your jacket and and the toboggan on and all that good fun stuff. And I go to take off my jacket and the zipper stuck. Because I've not had to take off the jacket yet. And they're like, sir, we need you to take the jacket off too. And I'm like, okay. And I go take the jacket off. The zipper, it's stuck. So I'm trying to get the zipper down. It's not working. They're standing there. Meanwhile, everybody's gone through security. My family's waiting on me. They tell them they must leave. And so they kind of push them away. I did not see that at that time. And it's about 30 seconds, and these guys like, sir, maybe if you go up a little bit and then go down. And I wanted to go, yes, I know how a zipper works. Even if it's stuck, I do know this. So I'm trying not to be my normal self, and I'm trying to do this, and it's about a minute. And it's about a minute and a half. And then I'm starting to, like the Incredible Hulk, just trying to, just force it down, just ripping it like I'm ripping my shirt off, right? And it's starting to get there, and then next thing I know, there's the second security guy. Then there's a third security guy. Sir, we're going to need you to take the jacket off now. And I'm like, man, I'm trying. There's nothing more in this world I want than this jacket off. Then the security guard on the other side said, whose stuff's gone through here? There's a couple cell phones and wallet. And I'm like, well, that's mine. I'm trying to get they're like, zipper stuck. And they're like, well, who sent it through? And then they're arguing with each other. And then there's another security guy. And I'm like, this is getting bad. This is like 3.5 minutes. And the one guy says, well, who you with? I said, I'm with my family. And I turn, and there's nobody there. And the guy's like, what do you mean your family? I'm like, they were right there. And then the guy's already let like 10 people through, so he doesn't remember who was there. Yeah. So I finally was able to get the jacket undone, take it off. I get through security. My family's like, what happened to you? And I'm like, well, yeah, security. So then we leave. So if this isn't bad enough. So we leave. I'm not paying any attention, but apparently there's some bike racks that are blocking the stairs when you leave the Capitol building, and they want to force you up a ramp because they're trying to redo something or whatever. And so as we're walking up the ramp, my wife goes, hey, to the left is whatever building, Library of Congress, something. Hey, let's go over there. I'm like, okay. So I'm walking up the ramp. She goes, no, we'll just cut and go up these steps. So I cut through the grass.
Oh, no, that's bad.
Get on the steps.
That is a good way to get shot.
That is when security comes flying. And I'm like, oh, boy. And I look at my wife, and she's like, what? I said, I'm already on the radar because I can't get the daggone jacket off. Now you've got me. And she's like, well, I didn't notice that the thing's blocked off. I'm like, yeah, it was blocked off down here and up there. So anyways, We get through that, and I'm fine. The White House, I made it through no issues, but that was my security at the Capitol. They were not real pleased with me.
So other than the weather and potentially massive security incident, how was D.C.?
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good. Lexington, Kentucky was also good.
All the tours, all the stuff. Wind chill was terrible. How was the wind chill inside the gym?
The wind chill inside the gym was negligible. It mostly came from the 4 gigantic ceiling fans, one at each corner of the Clive Beck Center on the campus of Transylvania University. I've got that burned into my brain now. Beautiful little facility. It's Division III, obviously, so it's like one of those multi-story, normal students are in there too. Like the practice gym is on the floor immediately above the competition floor. And then there's a dance studio and a weight room off either side of that practice gym. And then the 3rd and 4th floor, I think, are offices and like training facility, athletic training, and stuff like that.
Was it an athletic weight room or like the common area weight room for like every student?
It's a Division III school, so that it's both.
Yes.
The answer to that question is yes.
So while you're doing the games, you could hear the weights like clanging down and all that?
Oh, no. This is a complete floor above. There were 2 flights of stairs we had to go up to get there. But the stairs were like really nice, like quartz tiled stairs. Oh, super fancy. It was great facility. Wish we had a little bit more space for the radio broadcast that we brought. It got a little bit cramped, but overall, good experience. And ETSU, 3rd place in the WBI. They smashed Georgia Southern. Largest margin of victory against a Division I program ever for the Bucks in their final game of their record-setting season. 25 wins is a school record. 15.5 games improved as a school record. They already had the largest margin of victory against any opponent, 69 against the Virginia University Lynchburg Dragons back in December. And they set the school record for made threes in a season as a team with 228. If I told you that after the Vanderbilt game, what would you have said to me? Mock said, who's going to make them?
You're correct. It was like, we only got like one person to make them at that point. That's
13
what it felt like.
on Sunday, and Journey McDaniel had 7.
She went bonkers.
7 of 7. Apparently, Doc Sander gave her some shooting tips after the game on Saturday, and that worked out pretty nicely for Journey, I would say. The jumper at the beginning of the year was something that you kind of looked at and you went, okay, you can take that once. And just like get to the rim, get to the basket, put backs, athleticism, use your incredible athletic ability and verticality to get up to the rim. And over the course of the season, she stuck with it. She kept working on it. She got more and more confident, and that jumper just exploded in a big way. It's the first 25-point game by a freshman. She scored 26. First 25-point game by a freshman since J-Bo Davis against Furman in February of 21. And then the most points in a game by a freshman since Erica Haynes Overton in 2019 against North Greenville had 29. And I went back, and our archives are a little scattered past that because of some digital changeovers that we did around that time, but was trying to find the last time somebody had 26 or more against a Division I opponent. Also the 5th game in school history where a player hit 7 or more threes for Journey McDaniel. And that's just Journey. That doesn't even get into Giselle Thomas flirting with a triple-double, getting to 1,500 points for her career. None of that. That's just the freshman that's coming back next year.
And the future bright because you're talking about, again, Thomas is the only – now, again, this is basketball in today's world. The percentages say somebody – I guess Paris isn't coming back, so – couple people not coming back, but for the most part, unless something else changes, this is a vast majority of the team that is going to be together again. Yeah,
Paris McCarthy is not going to return for next year. Sounds like she has some really good athletic opportunities back home in Ireland in some other sports. She's a phenomenal athlete, and she tried something really bold and adventurous, and it didn't quite work out, and so there's no acrimony there, I don't think, and certainly wish her all the best, and hope to see her name in the headlines of Gaelic football in the not too distant future.
Which is a fun sport if you've never seen that.
It is a fun and daring and violent and high-flying sport. It's awesome.
Yeah, we got stuck for 25 hours in Dublin, and there was a Gaelic football game on TV I'd never seen before, which was happening just down the road, so we were able to go down and try to wiggle our way in that to experience that. And that was my first time I'd ever seen it. I watched a few matches since then. I don't pretend to know that I really know exactly what's going on for the most part, like every nuance of it, but it is a fun sport if you've never been able to watch it. A little combination of soccer football, I guess, is the best way to word it.
And there's another sport that's like very similar to hockey, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Was an Irish game that resembles hockey. Hang on, I'm gonna have to.
Are you gazoogling?
I am using. It's hurling. That's what it is. It's hurling.
That's a game I've played before, but I think it's
different. That's very
different game. Okay,
very different. Yeah, no, that's not. It's not the kind of hurling that you partook in during leave time and during your service.
Okay, that's fair.
It's very different kind of hurling. It's where you got the ball and you like hold it on the stick. It's almost like it's like a kind of like lacrosse in some ways, but you use a field hockey stick for it, and you hit it through a football upright.
I like it.
It's really cool.
All right.
Ireland is awesome, man.
Yeah, if it was only warmer. If it'd be a little
if
warmer.
it was a little bit warmer. But also, ETSU will be hiring a third assistant. Trinice Fox had to step away from the program in February. She's Brenda Mock Brown said on Sunday that Trinice had some family things that she needed to deal with, and so certainly hope for the best for her. She was great to work with, super nice, and hopefully that does not prevent her from getting back into coaching somewhere and landing on her feet and having success because, again, it was just the timing of it all and the circumstances of it all didn't quite work out. So wish all the best for her, but ETSU will be looking for a third assistant coach for women's basketball.
Hopefully, again, they keep the staff together. They keep a majority of the players. They've got a lot to build on, and Coach Mock, I told her to throttle it down after about 6-7 wins there. You wanna kind of tamp it down, but no, she went full throttle.
Well, Joe Silvestri and Jackie Alexander, because I asked Mock this, I said, what did you want in terms of win total? And she said, my assistants told me that they would be tickled with 10. And I think they had that, about Thanksgiving? Thereabouts?
Yeah, they got off to a great start.
Yeah, they had that before Christmas. So truly a phenomenal season, one that's going to be really tough to forget. And they're going to schedule tougher next year, so they won't win 25 games again, but they should still be a very good basketball team, and they bring pretty much the entire roster is scheduled to return. Certainly everybody that was in the rotation is scheduled to return. I am ecstatic to see what Kendall Foley and Neve Brown and Journey McDaniel do, and Courtney Moore and Jabo Davis. That, I think, is probably your starting five, and then Sarah Thompson's got an opportunity to grow off the bench. Downing's got a chance to grow off the bench. You're adding Brecken Snutherly, who's a very interesting player, has been a really prolific scorer in North Carolina high school ball. So what can she bring off the bench? Can she bring you some value? Maybe a little bit of what you're losing in Giselle Thomas, in that she can get to the rim. She's more of a slasher. She's explosive one-on-one, athletic. That would be a home run addition. And they do have at least one other that we can't talk about until signing day in April. But I believe there is a priority to continue trying to add to this 2023 recruiting class to get some rebounding help to shore up with Jakaya and Jayla Rufus-Milner and Downing in the front court.
So how about some Wednesday? Let's come back Wednesday. Let's do a full, because I didn't get to do any Portal Watch with you. I love Portal Watch. We'll do some Portal Watch. We'll do a little Say What. We'll do some stuff on Wednesday, maybe catch up on some spring sports as well. So we'll do that on Wednesday's show, but very tight window here for Brooks Savage, and it appears we're up for our 20 minutes with him.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you know what I'm excited about, Keith?
Basketball.
Puns. I'm excited about puns.
We got a lot of those.
Coming in hot. I didn't wait on the riff that time.
That's a face melter is what that is.
So,
Wow.
love puns. I
Yes.
love Buck Nation because they're great at puns.
I got. So what do you want to do first? You want to do Savage Nation, Savage World, Savage Garden? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Macho Man.
Oh
Yeah, brother.
I also enjoy the fact that they wanted to call Freedom Hall Brooks Gym as well for the same reason of that. In case you haven't figured out and you didn't listen to the first part of the podcast and you just fast forward to the point where I say we're going to have new head men's basketball coach Brooks Savage here, then that was Brooks Savage. And Coach, it's good to talk to you. Good luck. We'll see you next year. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Coach, let's jump right into it. This was obviously a whirlwind situation in which the season ends. ETSU has an opening. Clearly you're interested. Otherwise, I don't know why you would apply. And you got the job. Take us through your side of how it kind of came about and to the point to where you actually got the call that you were offered the job.
Well, this has always been a dream job destination for me and always somewhere I wanted to come back to. I love the people. I love the community. I love the program. And so, you get wrapped up in your own season, and so it wasn't like anything I was really thinking about at all. And the job comes open, and obviously, Coach Forbes knows of my dream and my goal to be a head coach, and how much I love this place. So he really was instrumental in helping me with the initial conversations, and I guess that was on. Maybe like a Saturday or Sunday, and then I had a Zoom with the committee on a Monday, a few more conversations in between there with Doc, and then ended with a Zoom on Thursday with Dr. Noland, and then I thought maybe the phone would ring on Thursday evening. It went really well, and then so I'm sitting by the phone, nothing. So then Friday morning, Dr. Sander called me and offered me the job, and obviously just a really special moment for me and my family, and Lauren was there with me when he called, and so we was on speakerphone. So we got to share that together because she's been, along for the ride, and she's takes care of so much for our family, and so it was a cool moment.
I've been through a few job searches, and I know on the broadcasting end it can be really, really stressful, that wait, that moment where like you go through the interview, you do everything you can, and now it's completely out of your hands. How did you cope with that 24, 36 hours after the interview process between that time and getting the call that you were going to be the next head coach?
Pins and needles. Pins and needles. You just, I've always tried to take some comfort in just trying to just do the best job that I can do, and whatever that is, whether it be a scouting report or coaching or whatever, just try to put your best foot forward. And I thought it went really well. I said everything that I wanted to say to Dr. Noland. We had a great Zoom for about an hour, and I felt good about it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but luckily it did, and I'm thrilled to be here.
So what drew you back? What was it about ETSU that made this a dream destination type job for you? Yeah,
I've always wanted to be a head coach, but not just anywhere. And this place checks all the boxes for me. Outside of the storied tradition and the facilities and my previous time here and the community and all that stuff, right? The opportunity to coach high-level players, it really comes down to the people and who you want to work with. And I've been a lot of places. That doesn't really matter. It's about who you're with is what I've learned over, my time in this thing. And so doing this with Dr. Sander and Dr. Noland, and Kay Lennon was huge, but outside of the brass, it was people like you guys, is Sandos and Brett Lewis, our trainer, and KB, and I could name them all, but just all the great people here, I think is what really drew me. Is a great community. We loved it living here last time, and to raise our family now with a little girl, one on the way. Great place to raise a family. I really align with this place academically, being a first-generation college graduate, and there's something here for everybody. Some many really good programs. It's just so all of that stuff. It checked all the boxes.
Well, let's talk about, you gave a little bit, and people can go back and watch the press conference. You thanked a lot of people. Certainly learned a lot. The one thing that kind of stuck out to me that I went back and racking my brain was the fact you said that you've been a part of taking over year one at 6 different programs. I think that gives you a very unique perspective because you didn't walk in to somewhere that was already established and had something. You guys had to build from scratch. How do you think that particularly helps you now that you've done it on the assistant coach side to sit in the top chair?
I think it prepares me really well. I think it helps with my, there's going to be a learning curve. Like you're never really ready to be a head coach or whatever. Just like you're never really ready to be a dad. You just nothing can really prepare you for that. But I think my learning curve will be a lot easier because I've been here before. But I've been in the players' shoes when I was 19, and Coach Pearl came in to Tennessee in the first year. Then I went with Ed Conroy to Tulane in year one. I went with Coach Forbes to JUCO in year one. I was down the road in year one, and then here. So, you kind of learn. You think you don't have a lot of time. You have more than you think. You got to really know how to prioritize that time, though, with what's important now, and so you can hit the ground running. But so I've had a lot of different perspective and different experiences, and I think that'll just help. Especially this first 30 days or so.
Well, let's talk about what is the next step. Obviously, getting the head job is there. You got players to worry about. You got staffing. Obviously, at some point, second child's coming, moving, all that good fun stuff. But just take us through, a little bit here in the immediate, the next couple of weeks, what it looks like for you.
The most important thing is the players, the current players that we have here right now. And we had a really good meeting this morning at 10:30. I felt like it went really well and really positive. I'm going to work really hard to build a relationship with these guys and just let them know that, like I said, like you're our guys. We want you here. You're plenty good enough. We just gotta get better, and so just really getting those guys on board, and hopefully they want to stay and be a part of the future here. And we got to complete the staff. Joe Hughley is going to stay on, which will be awesome. He has a lot of pride for the program. Played here, knows what it takes. He's a really talented young coach with a huge future, and so he'll be great on the staff. Got a couple other people you're probably familiar with. They told me they were glad. Everyone was glad that I didn't get more into it because it's like an HR violation.
Right. So that was the first question a lot of people asked me, and I said, there's a couple things. Once you get to a certain point, you're not at the private school level.
I pulled back because
you have to wait because there was a couple people said, well, I heard he's bringing so-and-so, and you've told me that, but I was like, well, he can't say that because that, but yes, you can, and once you get that out, maybe we'll have you back to brag on all the guys you're going to bring, but there'll be a familiar name or two.
For sure, somebody that our fan base really loves, somebody that our players will love, and so completing that staff, just going to, we'll fill it out with people who I really trust, that are hardworking, that are good teachers of the game, student-athlete centric, relationship builders, team first guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and we'll have a staff full of guys like that. And then it's recruiting. Those would be the 3 main things. We obviously have to fill out the roster and bring in some more good players to go with the guys we have, and we'll hit the ground running on that and try and obviously address immediate needs mainly in the backcourt.
Yeah, in the press conference you talked about tape, toughness, attitude, passion, effort, and I love that because it's all of those things are controllable. How much is year one just about getting guys on the same page about the things that they can control?
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. I think the core values, I've wrestled with these for years, trying to find what's authentic to me, and I finally settled on that. And you search for all these words that people like to put on the wall. And on a T-shirt, and if you got to put them, if you got to put it on a T-shirt, then you ain't really about it. And so, we wanted to be authentic to what we want to do, and toughness, passion, attitude, and effort, have been kind of constants in my life. And so, as the leader and the head coach, I have to be able to live those out every day for them to mean something. And so that was important. But yeah, it's just. We'll fight for our culture and our standard of and expectations and our identity on a daily basis. And so, hopefully those will become the fabric of our program.
And that's a word that everybody brings up, culture and stuff.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you see that playing out, because everyone has a little bit different definition of what they define culture and what it's going to be like. How would you define how you want it to be? Because obviously day one it's tough to get, but you're going to get there. How do you see that playing out? What does it look like?
Yeah, ultimately it's just the people that you bring into your program. Everything in your organization, anybody can replicate that except your people. And so we want to attract great coaches and high character, really, talented, student athletes. And so it's about acquiring and developing talent. And ultimately, the people you bring into your program becomes your culture. It's got, that's why the words and all that stuff are great, and that's guidelines to go by. And we'll be about that stuff. But you got to get the right people. And like I said, that was one thing that attracted me about coming back, was all the great people here, the other great coaches, the great administrators. From top to bottom. And so, culture is a very probably overused word, but for us, it would be the quality of our people.
Is it going to be tough for you when you walk upstairs into your office to not, turn to the wrong office and realize you're in the big office? How long, or will it just one time, or you think at some point just you'll randomly walk in and you look and a coach is staring at you and you're like, you know what? And you make up something because you're in the wrong office.
And Joe's going to yell at you.
Because I know too many guys that have been in one spot and then get the job and then they say, I've randomly turned and I went to go in that office and I looked around and I went, yep, I'm not in here anymore, and I just made up a reason to talk to them. Will that happen to you?
I just did it.
Yeah, see, yeah.
I just did it. When I walked up in there,
right.
Because I came with Coach Forbes like from day one, right, last time. And so I took the smallest office intentionally. And so
you are the smallest guy, but that's okay. Go ahead.
I'm not the smallest guy.
Weight-wise, you were.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry.
But I took there's the one right there on the right. So I walked in and I just kind of popped that door open just for old time's sake. But I won't be going back in there. It was cool. Coaches, the big office is arranged differently than it was when Coach Forbes was here, and I may move it back as pay homage to Coach and move it back how he had it, but we'll see. That's far down the list.
You told a great story today about the first time you met Steve Forbes and the U-Haul full of scouting reports and preseason magazines. And what has Steve meant to you, not just professionally, but as a person?
Trying to make me cry.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
but
it's our Roy Firestone segment of the show.
Brought to you by Food City.
Value every day.
No, Coach has been instrumental in my life. I left home at 18, and so him and Janetta and Liz and Christopher and Jonathan. That's been like my family, for much of my adult life. And just can't say enough about how he's mentored me and helped me develop as a coach and become a better person. And Coach is honest. He's honest. And so that's been just critical in my development. But he, I said it today, he allowed me to make mistakes, and he allowed me to fail and learn from those. And I think that's probably the most valuable thing that he did for me, was just allow me to grow and had patience and confidence in me. And I'm forever grateful to Coach, and I'll miss him. But we had a lot of good times together, and it's a lot of things that have nothing to do with basketball, have nothing to do with practice or the game or the offices. The long car rides and being on the road together. Or one year we were recruiting and we went and walked all the monuments in Washington D.C. and it was actually Father's Day one spring. And just it's the little things. I'll miss him yelling at me from 4 offices down to come in there, and all that sort of stuff. And but he's just been influential in my life. When I think you're young, when you're in college or you're in high school and things, people tell you find a mentor, right? That's a big way to become successful and achieve your goals. And I couldn't have had a better one.
Well, let's talk about, you've mentioned Coach, and we know a lot about Coach Forbes. What have you taken from another head coach you've worked with that you have always kept and wanted to maybe implement something other than what you've taken from Coach
Sure, yeah. Something. I mean, I've tried to take something from all of them. Coach Buzz Peterson hired me as hired as a loosely term, but I was let me be a freshman manager, and I just remember that was his last season at UT, and I just remember how he handled all that with such grace, and is an unbelievable person, and someone that I still lean on to this day, and but he was just everybody liked him, and I think that was important. And BP was master motivator, just forever an underdog, and so you learn some things there about getting your team ready to play and motivating, and then just a brilliant coach with an unbelievable offensive mind. Probably a lot of my basketball philosophy and kind of how I came from not only Coach Forbes but Coach Pearl. And on down the list. Coach Ed Conroy at Citadel really taught me how to work. That was a challenging year for me, but he really taught me how to get into the film and work. But I've learned as much from those head coaches as much from the other assistant coaches I've worked with too. Matt Woodley was influential in helping me develop myself over the last 3 years. Because he's been a head coach at pro level, and Coach Shea, I've learned a lot from him, and BJ Mackey, and just all of them. I think they all have an influence on you. So it's been very fortunate to work with great people.
Have you talked to Ed Conroy yet since you got the job? And is it kind of surreal that you're going to be coaching against him now?
Yeah, I called every one of the head coaches and thanked them for believing in me when they didn't have to, and giving me an opportunity to live my dream. And so I talked to Coach Conroy, and I don't look forward to going down there and playing them because I think he's a fantastic coach, and they always make it tough on you. Hopefully, Jordan can have another 40 ball, and when we go down there. But he was great. Coach Conroy he's just a blast to be around. Just a great person, and so it's kind of been fun to go from working for him to now calling him a friend.
Being an assistant coach for so long, getting the head job, I'm sure there's things as an assistant you took pride in. Is it going to be tough to maybe take a step back in some of that to be an overall leader, or is there certain things you still want to kind of have your finger on the pulse that is near and dear to you?
Yeah, I think it's important that I always have a pulse on what's going on and overseeing. But it'll be definitely a different role. I think that's why the staff is really important, to hire people that you really trust and that that are out there working their tail off, and that are capable to do the job. And so, we'll have that, which will make me feel really comfortable with, letting some things go that maybe I'm more traditionally used to just doing myself. But that's a great question because Coach Forbes leaned on me a lot to do a lot of things, and I'm used to just doing, and so it is a little bit different role. But being at Wake Forest, where we have a bigger staff, has helped me delegate more things and be a little bit more hands off on some things that I maybe so used to doing in the past. But staff will be really important in that aspect.
Well, I know when you were here last, you were instrumental in scheduling and getting games and all that. And I want to make sure, number one, you continue Coach Forbes' tradition of not playing on Christmas Day. Now that you're a dad, I'm a dad. I don't want to play on Christmas Day, number one. But number two, certainly you've got some connections. And did you do any scheduling at Wake, or are you going to try to get some of the scheduling going here?
That was one of the best things about Wake is I moved into a little bit more of a advisor role on the scheduling. Coach Davis, Frank Davis, he did all of the legwork on the scheduling. But we'd talk about it and try to figure out how to manipulate the net, or just try to figure out the net at all and try to find quad one games. It's challenging because no one knows, no one can understand the net. So, but those games are hard to get. There's only so many of them. But scheduling at any level is challenging. But I will be heavily involved in scheduling as a head coach. I think it cuts out on a lot of the back and forth and assistants talking to assistants and then going back to their head coach. It's just a lot of the middleman stuff. So I'll be back involved in that. But I didn't miss it for 3 years. I can promise you.
All right. What was the one thing you did or want to do when you're back in town?
I already ate at Pal's. That was the first stop. first stop, I called John Schulman, is a coaching friend. He spent some time here. His wife is a Hall of Famer for the ETSU Bucks, and so I called him on the way into town. And obviously, you know how funny he is, and so he told me get a big pal with cheese, a Frenchie fry, and say don't say fries or it's got to be a Frenchie fry. And then he gave me the option of sweet tea or milkshake. So he directed my steps there. I didn't need any help, but that was how that happened.
Was it a sweet tea add peachy, or did you do anything to it? Or?
I didn't go that. I think I got soda.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I crushed
I always
it.
go Dr. Enough add raspberry.
I think I got Yeah. That's a good one. I like that
one. A good one.
But I crushed it. So it was good.
Yeah, Shulman's one of those guys where it's amazing where you really love a guy and then you don't pay attention to him for a while, and then all of a sudden he's a good guy again when he's not wearing the other colors. So.
That's right. That's right.
And for the fans that know, they know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
For the ones they don't, they probably can figure it out in the context.
And we don't have to chat about any of that.
I mean,
all right?
Johnny Damon and Roger Clemens played for the Yankees and the Red Sox. I mean, it can be done. It can be done.
I mean, it can.
It can. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying in my world it can. I don't know about anybody else's world. So, all right, well, we'll let you go. It's a busy day, first day on the job. You got a lot of responsibilities to do. And first of all, congratulations. It's good to have you back. It'd be great to have you on the Coaches Show and get to know you that way. And we can't wait till we get a staff. We'll bring you back when we get the staff. And once we get all your players in, we'll be able to talk about that and get Buck Nation excited for ETSU basketball.
Awesome. Great to be back. I appreciate you having me, and look forward to many more of these. So go Bucks.
Now I'm excited for basketball.
I am too. That was awesome. I told you, I tried to Dabo his core values and said, oh, that's tape, right? It's tape, but you had him out of order, so it's tape. And he's, no, we're not doing it. I love that. I like that. If you have to put it on a T-shirt, you're not about it. That's a good line. He's had a lot of those things. He talked about his daughter being born in front of a sold-out crowd in January when they beat Chattanooga. That was a good one.
Well, that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
That was a good one.
I don't know if you weren't near me, but I assure you that was my favorite part of the whole press conference.
That was, I'm fired up. Excited to work with Brooks. I know the players will be too, and excited to see where this offseason goes over the next couple days and weeks.
He also sprinkled another quote-unquote fan favorite that'll be on staff. Can't wait to see who that is.
Right.
All right, Wednesday, little Say What on the Buccaneers Network.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!